See, when finals are this grand, they have to be best of 7. And spawning in the upper right-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have Dragon Kitesy Gaming's Dark. His opponent in the lower left for Onside Gaming, it's Maru. Oh, man. What an insanely good finals. Maru versus Dark, best of 7. You can only get this at the most premier of tournaments. And I'm so blessed that a tournament that I've been involved in putting on has a finals this good, this strong. Such an insane player base. Thank you so much to everybody in the Patreon who has been supporting this over the last 6 months. The weeklies have been fantastic, but this tournament is just, it's not the cherry on top. This is like, it's like the weeklies were the appetizer, and this is just the best main entree I could possibly have. It's maybe a more accurate food analogy. This has been just such a fabulous 6 months of StarCraft. The Patreon support has been fantastic. I really appreciate everybody who's been supporting. I'm hoping we get more patrons and we can continue to do this for a long time. We are right now, honestly, pretty low on Patreon support. So if you've been on the fence and considering it, now would be a really great time to send some support our way. We will continue the weeklies as much as we can. But right now we don't have the kind of support we did before, so we might have to lower the prize pool or skip a week every month or something of that nature. We'll keep this tournament going as long as we can. But I'd love to get to do more events like this, and that's only possible with Patreon support. Again, shout out to OSC for supporting as well, and to the Match Arena. If you guys are like, well, I don't want to put my money there every month, but I do want to add to this prize pool, reward these players for what they're giving us. Check out that Match Arena. But do it in a couple of minutes because Maru built the 3rd Rax. He built the 3rd Rax, guys. This is 3 Rax Reaper. And he's going to put a lot of pressure on the Dark. Dark needs to recognize this soon. I think he will when the 4th Reaper shows up. He's going to have to cancel this base. And there it goes. Very last second. He's got a lot of Lings coming out. Ling speed is about to finish. Now, Lings can get on top of these Reapers and make things very complicated. Maru, I expect to have excellent Reaper control, but it's very easy to get these Reapers killed. Oh, he's going to try to find the ledge. Reaper Grenade's going to be key here as the Lings start surrounding them. But he's not throwing any of those grenades, just keeping the Reapers bunched up. Needs to be super careful, though, as more Lings show up. He finds a way for most of the Reapers out. 2 more Reapers getting caught, though. This is a real problem for Maru, because now the Lings can start to just get on top. He hasn't thrown a single Reaper grenade, and I think that's a big mistake here. Finally throws one, but now the Natural's in some trouble. That stim. Honestly, I think Dark, should he commit here? The Reaper grenades make it a little more complicated. He decides not to. He decides to let stim get a little bit further along. There's no more Lings coming out. It's just drones behind this. But I think Dark did a great job defending that, and I kind of start to see why maybe Maru hasn't been doing this build as much. It doesn't feel like he has that that Reaper control that we see out of Beyond against the Zerglings. It's a very specific control setting. So if you don't practice that specifically, you can't just do it on a whim. Even Maru needs to practice the Reapers versus Ling scenario before he's very good at it. But good defense from Dark. Obviously, he had to cancel the 3rd base, but that's kind of the bare minimum those Reapers are going to do. Other than that, trading out some Lings for the Reapers, it's actually quite good for Dark. Because, I mean, it's 250 gas that Maru's not going to get back, plus a lot of barracks production. But Maru's going to go for this follow-up here. He's just going to push across. It is still just 3 racks, so he hasn't gone up to like 5 or anything crazy. But that's still a lot of Marines coming out. He's got +1 on the way. The stim is finished. So Maru can start to really put some pressure on. Dark needs to have enough lings and queens out here to push this back. The thing is, Maru, I feel like, doesn't really want to engage with this. He just wants to poke and be annoying. Oh, man, he dives for that creep tumor and loses 2 Reapers. Doesn't even get it. An uncharacteristic micro error there from Dark, or from Maru. And Dark just holds on. That was actually quite less scary than I had expected it to be. Starting up that lair, he's got his double Evo on the way. Of course, Maru does have that +1 already started up, but by the time Dark starts up 1-1, the upgrades should end up relatively even. But now comes a little bit scarier push from Maru. He's got medevac, so he's not afraid to stim anymore. Another group of Marines shows up, so this is a very powerful push here. And there's still no Banes or anything for Dark. It is just Lings and Queens. That's a big group of Marines to deal with, though. And we have seen this kill some Zergs before. Transfuse is going to be very key. Another stim here. These Marines are very low. They're going to back into a corner, but that's going to be enough. Oh, man, and Maru didn't have his boost available on those medevacs, and one of them gets targeted down, and it had 8 Marines, and it was full of Marines. And down it goes. Dark deflecting that beautifully. I mean, this is excellent for Dark. Killing that medevac made this really good for him. Maru is still going to try to put some pressure on, but it's decidedly less pressure. If there were 8 more Marines of this would be so much scarier. But now he's just clearing creep until the Lings get there, and he's just got to run away immediately. We have seen Maru work with less. Still a lot of potential here for damage to get done. But I think Dark's very happy with this situation. His 4th base is getting set up. Maru bringing the tanks, though. He is not done yet. His 3rd CC is not quite done, so he's just going to keep on pushing. Oh, Dark taking the 5th base as well. I like that choice, because if he does have to give up this base, if you have another one nearly finished, it makes it pretty okay. And right now, it kind of looks like Dark might give this up. He's just building his forces up, letting that hatchery go down. Maru seems pretty content with that victory. I mean, this hatch is not very far along. So Dark going to be down on mining for a little while, but Maru, again, he still doesn't have the 3rd. So it's not that big of a deal for Dark. But this is where it gets a little bit scarier even. The tanks are going to drop in, obviously putting a lot of pressure on this new hatchery, but really starting to put pressure onto the main. And that's going to force Dark's hand. He's got to go clear this right now. He's going to get some decent Baneling connections. He's going to take down those take down the tanks. The Queens push the medevacs away. Dark handles that beautifully. Maru overstayed his welcome, ended up losing a lot more in that attack than he needed to. And now Dark should be able to get a bunch of drones up down here. This Liberator going to try to be a little bit annoying. Is there a Sport Crawler in this base? There's not. That could actually be a bit of a problem for Dark. Still the medevacs up near that 4th base and heading into the main now. So as Dark deals with that Liberator, Maru is going to continue pressuring with the Marines here into the main. Dark sending some Lings to deal with that. The Liberator seems to be pretty well handled. Yeah, it gets taken down. Only 3 drones going down. Dark also has a big group of Lings here, so he's not going to take too much damage in the main. Just doesn't have a lot that shoots up. The Queens can't be in all the positions at once. They're just too slow. Maru going to try to push up this ramp. There are a decent amount of Lings and Banes, though, and the tanks are a little slow to siege up, but the Banelings are just smashing into the siege tanks, so the Marines actually can win that fight, and the tanks stay alive as well. It looked like it was going to go very good for Dark, but he wasn't able to get to that juicy Marine center with the Banelings. So he's going to send his next group of Lings and Banes down to deal with this, so he doesn't lose this base. This base is very crucial. Even though he does have that 5th coming up now, he doesn't want to get knocked back down to 4 bases again. He's against a 3-base Terran, but he's going to be able to clean this up, push this back, and actually, Maru, a lot of his units still in the medevacs. He's got to drop them out. The Lings and Banes are right here, though. Oh, no. Dark's starting to overrun. This is feeling very good for Dark as Maru falls under 100 supply. The SCVs all getting killed or picked up, but this third base is doing absolutely nothing. The Liberator sieges up, but that's on a 5th. That is so not important. And Maru taps out. Dark takes game number 1 of this best of 7. Maru looking borderline unbeatable against Solar, but Dark starts it off strong. Holding on against the 3 racks Reaper opening. The follow-up pushes just not getting enough damage done. Dark totally fine evacuating bases, etc. And damn, what a hold there. Dark taking game 1. Now it is a best of 7. So we have a long ways to go. Maru has plenty of time to get back into it. We're getting into Dragon Scales for game number 2 here. Players are ready. We're loading in. Loading into Dragon Scales. I don't think we'll see Maru open up with that 3 racks Reaper again. Honestly, I was a little surprised he didn't drop any Reaper grenades. It didn't feel like the Reaper micro I had expected out of him. But let's get into game number 2. Spawning in the upper left-hand corner of Dragon Scales, we have our Dragon Kite Gaming Zerg Dark, who has accumulated the most KSL points this season. He is number 1 in the points standings. And right now, he's looking good at the start of this grand finals, but his opponent is it's no easy feat to take him down. He has won 7 GSLs. Some people, some watchers, some StarCrafters consider him the GOAT, and you can't blame him. For Onside Gaming, it's Maru. Is Maru the GOAT? It's the real question. You know what? In my eyes, it's all going to come down to the KSL Summer Slam. That will determine if Maru's the GOAT. If he wins this, I don't know. That's pretty good points in his favor. It's crazy, actually. So I was looking at their all of the top 4, the semifinalists, their like Liquipedia pages and their results. Oh, Dark. Oh, Dark, dropping that Roach Warren, you cheeky boy. And Maru going for just the single barracks opener. It's just Marines. Oh my god. I feel like this is really bad for Maru, actually, because he's not going to get the scout. He has no idea what's going on Dark's side of the map. Oh no, Maru. Oh man. Well, we'll see how this goes. Oh, this is a problem for Dark, though, if he doesn't have high ground vision, and if he gets supply blocked here. That's actually so painful. He does have another Overlord about to pop, and his hatchery's almost done, so he'll be okay, but that's 100 minerals he didn't want to spend. That sucks for Dark. But what I was going to say is that I was looking at these guys' like list of first places in premier events. I was actually going to try to take like a screenshot and put it on the bracket that I had made, like the graphic. Didn't end up working out, but
SCV ready.
Maru's was just like twice as long as everybody else's. His list of first place premier tournaments was just longer. He had like 21 premier tournament wins on Liquipedia. It was insane. It's just an insane list. But all right, Dark's gonna hit. Maru somehow just prescient. He knows who he's playing against, and he built the bunker. And with no high ground vision, it's gonna be a lot harder for Dark to bust up this. A bunker with 4 Marines is nothing to sneeze at. And it's going to be a lot harder to drop those biles down. It looks like Dark might just try to bust through this, but even that is, it's just not super strong. More Marines are coming out. One of the SCVs does die. The high ground vision is here once again for Dark. He's got another Overlord up. And he is going to take down the supply depot. Maru's a little bit supply blocked right now. Actually needs to build another depot because he can't build any more units until that depot is done. He's also going to get some more SCVs out here for repair because the biles are going to do a little bit too much damage for him to keep both of these up with 3 units. But Maru recognizes there's not like a big swarm of speedlings coming or anything. Dark is just trying to be annoying here. And he's very successfully being annoying. Maru builds a second bunker back here. But Maru has his production up now. Dark cannot stick around too long. A tank is going to come out. There's a Viking on the way to push away the Overlord. I love that Dark is just... he's just killing these buildings, right? It's just trying to find little bits of value. See if he can get some SCVs. Repair doesn't cost much, but it does cost, and it costs lost mining time. Honestly, it's probably more... he's probably lost more money to the lost mining time than he has to actually repairing. Maru realizes this attack is not going to continue. Dark is known for just going all in off the back of an all in, and there's a chance that that was speed behind that and just non-stop link production. And Dark was just waiting until Maru got cocky and then he would rush in. I've seen that happen. I've seen that kill Terrans before. But Dark, this game, he's been droning up behind it. He's going into a lair, and Maru recognized that Dark would have hit by now. So cancels the bunkers, salvages them, gets the money back. He's been producing SCVs pretty damn well. Drops a 3rd CC immediately. And it feels like Maru is just going for a macro follow-up here. Viking, in the meantime, trying to be annoying on the other side of the map. It has 1 Overlord killed. Maru's starting up 1-1. So Maru is thinking late game right now. He is thinking the long game. And I think that's really good for him because Dark's doing the same thing. He's got double Evo on the way. His lair is finished. He's getting Roach speed out. Dark is playing for the long game too, and I wouldn't be too surprised to see Dark try to take a 4th here in the very near future, as he's up at 60 workers, just barely outside of full 3-bay saturation. But Maru's starting to put some pressure on. He's got some medevacs out. This Viking is still going to be annoying. Maybe he can kill this Overlord finally. Can it do it? Look at that Viking. 2 kills on that bad boy. And then the Marines hit the main base. A couple Ravagers here with the Queen and the Spore. Will be enough to push it away, but a few drone kills. There's that 4th base going down for Dark. Maru's flying his 3rd over right now. His 1-1 in combat shields is still a ways away, but he could try to go for a push with that. Bring the tanks and everything. 5 barracks back at home. There's going to be a lot of Marine production out of Maru this game. Not that that's particularly different from any other game we've seen from Maru, but I wonder if Maru's been playing any mech lately. I don't know if he's been doing the mech play, or if he's largely sticking on the biotank. I think he's a lot stronger with biotank. I think mech can be good to bust out, just to throw players off. We've seen some Zerg players get really thrown off when the Hellions and Cyclones start hitting, and they just were expecting Marines. It can start to do a lot of damage very quickly. But I feel like Dark's not the kind of person to get caught off guard by that. You also run the risk of a lot of the battle mech style depends on the Zerg player just trying to macro, and Dark is known for building a lot of units being aggressive. This is really, really nice for Dark, or for Maru though. Definitely not nice for Dark, as of 4 Ravagers going down, getting targeted down by those Marines. Dark accidentally targeting down his own Roach too. 12 more Ravagers on the way though. Dark, he took the 4th base. He's on 67 drones, but I mean, this is a very Dark move. He just builds non-stop Roaches now. morphs a ton of Ravagers, and he is going to push straight across the map. And I don't know if Maru has realized what is coming his way. He did just see some Roaches and Ravagers, but yeah, okay, he's bringing everything home. He's consolidating. SCVs are getting pulled. Maru knows what he's up against. He just wants to buffer for these tanks, so it's a lot harder to bile them down. That's what the SCVs are doing right now. Few workers going down. Maru knows he needs to not die here. This is a dire situation. Tanks are getting biled down. The Marines chasing some of the Ravagers, but there's Roaches and Ravagers hitting his third base as well. More tanks gonna siege up here. The tank in the natural getting some big damage. This is a huge fight for Dark, but he is losing a lot of stuff. The Roaches and Ravagers are dying to these Marines. Oh, they're gonna dive into the natural though. At least try to bile down that siege tank. They get it. That is 5 tanks that have been killed. But the Marines have chased away a lot of these Roaches and Ravagers. So far, Maru has traded better, but he's lost a lot of workers for it. Can he actually win this fight? There's so many Roaches here. Maru decides he can't. He picks up. He's going for the counterattack? What is he doing? Maru, where are you going? I don't know if he knows. What is it? That's so many Marines. He's just running away. Okay, he's going to try to go take the other third and counterattack. He says, I want you to keep all your Roaches back at home. Ooh, Dark eating a lot of tank shots here. He's going to be able to take down that siege tank again. Marines can't quite win that fight, so Maru picks up and gets on out. And it looks like Maru's going to stabilize back at home, but in the meantime, Dark pumping out some more drones, getting up to an even better economy. And I wouldn't be too surprised to see him head towards Hive shortly. He starts up Metabolic Boost. I love it. 10 minutes into the game. Let's start up Zergling Speed. Dark was so focused on going for a big Roach Ravager all-in that he skipped Zergling Speed, but now he's got 2-2 on the way. Got that Zergling Speed. He's up to 76 workers. He knows he hurt Maru's economy, and he's going to try to do it again. I think that's enough Marines to go win that fight, though. I feel like Maru needs to go push that away. He will successfully do so, but more Roaches and Ravagers show up. They're going to try to get on top of the tank. So far, Maru doing a great job zoning, and Dark still going to have to run away, at least for the time being. More units coming home from Maru. He's bringing home that drop. That's going to allow Dark to bring everything across. Maru, he's doing the last stand here, pulling the SCVs again, but I think there might be too many Roaches and Ravagers. Ooh, Dark sacrificing a lot to get on top of these tanks, but he's not going to kill the siege tanks. 20 SCVs die, but Maru does take a really nice fight there. Oh my god, look at the resources destroyed. Maru killed so much more than Dark. Specifically, those 7 Ravagers, that's a huge amount of gas. The problem is, Maru is on 40 workers. So while he might have I don't know, it's not even a bigger army, but he might have a slight army lead for a little bit off the back of a good fight. He's got to take advantage of it now. He picks up and he's going to go drop in the main base. This is 4 medevacs worth of units. He has to get this damage done right now. One of these medevacs is super low, but he will get the full dropout into the main of Dark. I think he needs to go kill like that Roach Warren. Yeah, the Roaches are on their way, but that is a dead Roach Warren for sure. Ling speed's done though, so Lings could start coming out. But are there enough Marines to hold back at home? One of these tanks can go down. 2 of the tanks? No, just 1. Actually, that second one did die as well. Damn. Oh, and the Queen's trying to catch the medevacs. The medevac's trying to drop out, but it's too late. Oh my god, what a move. He gets another medevac. Maru had no boost, and he just flies over the Queens. And I think that's the killing blow. Maru, he needed to keep those Marines alive. He lost so many. Dark in a commanding lead now, up at 71 workers. He lost the Roach Warren. Who cares? The new one's finished. And he's just building a ton of Lings. The Lings don't have melee upgrades yet, but they do have +2 Carapace upgrades. So they're going to stay alive for a decent amount of time, and they just need to buffer for the Roaches and the 10 Ravagers that are morphing. There are 13 Ravagers now on the field. Dark's going to hit once again with almost double the army supply of Maru. He's diving in from multiple angles. Maru pulling the SCVs for a 3rd time. And he's just going to lose so much here. I think Dark's going to have enough to push through. The tanks on the high ground doing their best. More Marines coming down. Maru's going to hold on again. How does he do it? Taking another great trade. Only losing 11 SCVs this time. Oh my god, I thought Dark had that. And you know what? I think Dark thought Dark had that. But Maru holds on. He's going to counter push across the map. This 5th base should be dead, but Dark's going to try to come defend it. Tanks are showing up, though, but it looks like the Roaches might be in high enough numbers to push this away. Can Dark hold on? Because if he can, his economy is just so much better. The real problem for Dark is his army is just pretty crap. And 3 threes finishing up for Maru. His Marines just got a lot stronger against these 2-2 Roaches. The tanks are showing up as well. They're here. They have their +2 attack. They're going to do a lot of damage on the back lines. But is it enough for Maru? Dark really trying to hold on to this 5th base. He's going to try to hit from the backside. Coming in from all the angles right now. Getting on top of the siege tanks. The Marines doing their best to keep them alive, but the tanks are all going to fall. Maru's Marines standing strong. He's up 10 army supply right now. I think this base is actually dead this time. Gets transfused, but it goes down anyways. Maru's going to lift up and get out of there. Dark not able to hold on to that base. I cannot believe Maru lived through that attack and is actually in a position that feels okay right now. I mean, the army supply is even against a Roach player. Maru's still only on 51 workers, but at least he's mining from his 3rd and his 4th base instead of the main. So he's got a lot of mineral income right now, but it's still a lot less than Dark. The real thing here is Dark has 3 Vipers on the way out. His hive is done. He can start up his 3-3. He's just so focused on trying to get enough units out to hold on that he hasn't started that up yet. But Centrifugal Hooks is finished. The Banelings are roly-poly. Dark forcing Maru back once again, though. Maru wants to keep the pressure on. He does not want to stop. And he's still got more Marines. Another cancel on the base here as Dark is forced to stay on 4 bases. And this is a problem. Dark's been on these 4 bases a long time. The bases are mining out. As we can see here, only the 4th base is still mining at a normal rate. So Dark's income is going to start to fall very soon. We already see it getting a lot closer to Maru's. And Maru's just going to keep on pushing. That 3-3 is super huge. The Vipers come in, though. They're going for the Blinding Clouds. They get a Parasitic Bomb, but that, I don't really like that choice of spell from Dark. Does he have enough Roaches and Raptors to push it back this time? I think Maru's going to overpower. He's starting to push through. The army supply heavily favoring Maru now. As the Marines step forward, they're going to pull back to the tanks again, but the tanks were unsieged. One of them gets biled down. Honestly, a lot of Maru's army supply is in these 9 medevacs, so the ground army isn't as strong as maybe it should be, but Dark, his army's in production. He did start up the 3 Carapace, but he doesn't have time to finish it. The Ravager's getting jumped on the retreat as Maru gets 2 more Ravager kills and keeps pushing forward. Maru, he's doing it. I thought Dark had this game locked, but Maru, he's got the magic juice. And this 3rd base is in trouble. Roaches are coming out and dying immediately as Dark is desperately, frantically trying to gather his forces and just buy time. But he's long distance mining right now. His economy is just in the garbage, and it's not going to get any better as this 4th base gets jumped on. Dark is losing so much here. There's enough Marines to buffer for the tanks. The tanks will die, but at the expense of quite a few Roaches and Ravagers. Dark under 100 supply, and as the 4th base goes down, this is feeling like it. Maru is 50 army supply ahead. Maru's been sitting on 50 workers this whole time, but Dark is now down in the dumps with him. And Maru is looking poised to push through. Dark's +2 melee is finished. I just don't think that's going to be relevant here. There's not even any lings on the map yet. There's like 6 in production. GG. Maru comes back, clutches that victory from the jaws of defeat. Pulls them right out of Dark's feet. I mean, I say I can't believe it, but it is Maru. If anybody can make moves like that happen, it's Maru. There's just something about him. It's the special sauce, the magic juice. Incredible. The caster cursed it. I did. It's just one of those moments where Dark was so far up in army supply. He had a lot more lings than I think he wanted to have in that push. but it still felt like it was going to be okay. You know, it felt like he was going to have enough. Just the way Maru handles it is so beautiful. The SCV is buffering just long enough for those tanks to get their shots off. The Ravagers diving so deep for the Biles that they just kept dying over and over again. And I think that was the real key. Maru kept killing those Ravagers. The Ravagers are the most expensive part of that army. They cost 100. Dark really couldn't afford to lose those as many times as he did. And Maru knew it. He targeted them down specifically. He would chase them when they were low. Really beautifully played by Maru. Yeah, I think Dark's got to be kicking himself. He was so far ahead. His initial attack was so good, and his macro behind it was great. He killed those Marines in the medevac. He killed like 3 medevacs when Maru had just nothing. And Maru's still able to make the hold. And then the counter push, it was just the non-stop counter push of Maru. Eventually pushing back into Dark. And that brings us to a 1-1 situation. A nice tied series as we head into game 3 here. Spawning in the lower left-hand corner, we have Dragon Kitesy Gaming's Dark. Looking damn good, but... And he's up against the master, the GOAT for onside. It's Maru. Both of these players taking down their teammates in the semifinals. Maru taking down Solar, Dark taking down Hero. I'm not too surprised to see these guys in the finals. Honestly, when I looked at the bracket, I expected a Maru versus Dark or a Maru versus Hero finals, and you know, that's where we've gotten. Part of me was kind of hoping we'd have a TVT at some point, but funnily enough, that's just not how it worked out. It was actually kind of cool. We had a round of 12 with 4 players of each race. Such a dead even game. I mean, who can complain about balance when the KSL is so evenly split? Maru again going for the 2 racks on the low ground. That's true. There were no mirror matchups at all in this tournament. Somehow the Summer Slam was mirror matchup, devoid of mirror matchups, I should say. That's hilarious. What a coincidence. I'll tell you guys, so part of the seeding of the bracket came down to who had more points. So the reason that Dark, Hero, Solar, and who was Classic were in the round of 8, whereas the Terrans were all seeded into the round of 12, was just because those guys had more KSL points, right? That felt pretty straightforward. But I did seed them in randomly. I literally rolled a dice. I rolled a D4 to seed the players in. So it all was just pure happenstance. And then, you know, who got through the qualifiers. The fact that we had no Terrans coming through the qualifiers was kind of wild. I thought for sure Ryung was going to make it. But it's just funny how it turned out. I'm really happy with how this tournament has come out. This is by far the biggest tournament I've ever been involved with putting on. I can pretty confidently say that I have done the majority of work getting this tournament up and running. I'm really proud of the work I've done to make it happen, even though we've had some missteps here and there. I think it's come out really well. I hope you guys are enjoying the games, and I hope to be able to put on more tournaments like this in the future. Because, man, it's been good. Oh, Maru's 3 Reapers being as annoying as possible. Something about the Reaper Grenade is so fun to me. Like, I love the idea of the units just getting, like, bopped around. This is really nice for Dark, though. He did lose that Overlord, but gets the Marine kills for it. Unfortunately, not going to be able to really get anything else done. He could try to hit that wall, but it wouldn't do too much. Reapers are going to come push the Lings away. I mean, I really hope we continue to get KSL funding, that the Patreon continues to grow. And, you know, not only are we able to keep running the weeklies, but we can do another tournament in 6 more months, because... Oh, as the Reapers die here. I didn't even realize it when we were planning this tournament. This was just the only opening that we could actually run this tournament in. We're so packed full of events. But this is the exact 6-month mark of this tournament. Like, today. Like, right now. Like, a few hours ago, we hit the exact 6 months since we ran the first event. Because we ran them on Thursday nights initially, and it is Friday morning for me. So, it's kind of funny how it has worked out to be just exactly 6-month mark of KSL. I didn't even realize that until this week. But it's very cool. It's been a lot of fun. Hopefully we can run another one in 6 months. I don't know if we'll be able to get to a $5,000 tournament, but even if it just ends up being like a $1,000, you know? Just a measly 1,000. It's been very cool to be a part of this. And who knows, maybe in 6 months we'll be able to run like a Stormgate tournament, Zero Space tournament. Maybe we'll do both. That Creep Tumor was blocking the hatchery. But in the meantime, I should talk about this tournament, I guess. Liberator going to come in here. The Queens should be able to handle it fairly quickly. Nice transfuse there as the Liberator gets killed. The Lings dealing with the Hellions, but the Hellions trading pretty well with the Lings. Not a lot of Queens here to push them away, so eventually they will escape. Well, Dark's actually traded better. I didn't expect that when I looked at that resources lost. But I guess losing that Liberator is kind of painful. Double Evo Chamber going down, and it looks like it's going to be Ling Bane out of Dark this game. And it is, of course, just a lot of Marines coming out of Maru right now. 3 more racks are on the way. He's going to have heavy Marine production. As he forces a cancel on that 4th base. But this time, Dark has another 4th base coming up. And so it feels like that cancel is not super impactful. But I think Maru just went for the 2 racks Reaper with the 2 racks Marine follow-up. Pretty standard for him. It does allow him to get into that 3rd base a lot quicker. And then he's just going to follow up with 1-1 combat shields and a ton of Marine production as the triple reactor is on the way. So he can build 6 more Marines at a time. Hydroden finishing up for Dark. He's got that infestation pit on the way. You know, he does like to get into his hives nice and quick. I don't know of anybody else who regularly gets into their hives in like normal macro games as quick as Dark does. Are there other Zerg players who do that? I feel like most of the other Zerg players wait until like 9 or 10 minutes. But like for Dark, we're 7.5 minutes in and I'm like, oh, he hasn't even started his hive yet. It's so late. This is kind of nice for Maru, though. His armory is done. He's going to start up his 2-2 very shortly, I imagine, but he's got this little Hellbat push. He's trying to dive in on top of this 4th base, and Dark doesn't really want to engage yet. He's going to send the Banes in, though. Oh, he was waiting for Bane speed. Doesn't quite kill those Hellbats in Maru. He's got a lot of pressure going. A Widow Mine here with these Marines. That mine going to get a little bit of a connection, but not too much. The Hellbats and Marines on the other side, though, push through that base, and they are not stopping. Maru is going to keep going. I said 2-2, but he is not building that. He is just building units, and he wants to push through this right away. But as the Hydras come out, a little extra DPS is coming out from Dark. So Dark should be able to hold on here. He has taken a bit of drone damage, and Maru's traded really well with the army. Oh my god, he's killed so much more. Dark has barely killed anything. That is insane. Bane Glory, thank you so much for the Prime sub. We're about to end. Actually, we just entered September, so I don't actually know what the discounts are, but shout out to September. And Dark not able to get into that hive that he likes so much. Widowmine's getting some really sick connections on the Lings and even the Hydras. And as he keeps pushing this back, more Marines show up, more mines show up. Oh no, and Maru is in the natural as well, dropping more Marines. And just like that, Dark is forced to tap out. Maru coming in with those big attacks that I wasn't really expecting him to push so hard. And I don't think Dark was either. Hitting in multiple locations, Dark not quite able to handle it. And man, after game one, I thought, oh, this might be, you know, might be Dark taking a cheeky win here against Maru, but Maru immediately pulls it back. Game two was very sick, but that one was straightforward. Maru he just won that game. He just won it. And now we'll be heading to game number 4. It's going to be on Neo Humanities. This is a really interesting map that I know Dark has some cheeky builds on. Dark likes to go heavy roaches on this map usually. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see him do one of his big, like, 3 base roach maxes, or sometimes he'll do like a 2 base roach rav draw in, that kind of thing. The pressure everywhere, yeah, it was insane. We get instant replay. That's right. The instant replay in the tiny little monitor in the corner. It's not Steadfast technology. I tried to institute like a real instant replay. I actually spent a lot of time working on that one day, and it didn't work. It didn't work. The technology I was using was really, it was bad. The technology was bad, and it just ate up all of the like CPU power in my computer. So I couldn't, unfortunately, get that to work, because I'd love to have some cool instant replay on here. I think that would be pretty sick, but not for this tournament. We just have slight instant replay for that one. But let's get into game number 4 here. Neo Humanity, it's spawning in the upper left-hand corner. We do have Dragon Kites Gaming's Dark. Took a very nice first game, but seems to be struggling a little bit. That last one seemed like an easy win for his opponent. In the lower right for Onside Gaming, it's Maru. Now this is a best of 7. So Maru up on 2-1, but he still has to win 2 maps. Dark has plenty of time to come back in this series. And this is a good map for him, I feel like. I actually don't think this was a Dark map pick, but Dark always, I feel like I always see Dark crush Terrans on this map. It's kind of hilarious. Like, yeah, now that I think about it, Dark picked the first map. So this must be a Maru pick. But this feels, to me, in my mind, this is a Dark map. So I wonder if I see Dark win on this map just because he does strats that he wouldn't normally do. He's like, all right, I hate this map. I'm just going to roach Ravager all in. But I've seen him beat plenty of Terrans on this map. Beyond, Gumiho, Cure. He's going to open up the 3rd hatch down there. I don't really like that, because we do have the 2 Rax Reaper opening from Maru. And that base feels pretty vulnerable. We've seen the 3 Reapers force a cancel on that base before, because it's kind of hard to get through. You have to mine through those mineral fields to get down there. But we'll see. We'll see if Dark's able to hold on to that. Queen's about halfway done. Lings are going to have to buffer while she finishes up here. Oh, a drone falls. Dark a little slow to morph that Spore Crawler. Loses his drone. Now the 2 Reapers going to rotate down around the bottom side as the third command center goes down, excuse me. But the Reapers don't stay down there. They are going to stick around by the natural and main. Interesting. I thought for sure we were going to see Maru start working on that third hatch. It's kind of funny. Maru just jumping up there, getting that high ground vision, and then jumping down. I don't even know if he killed any lings with that. 1 ling and 1 drone have died. He did kill one of Solar's queens in the last series, so he might just be trying to get one of these queens. Yeah, the Lings and Queens get the kill that time. Roachborn goes down for Dark. I did, listen, I told you guys he likes his roaches on this map. And he gets his third base up and running, no problem. And Maru's going for the 3cc variation of this, so he's going to have some stim marine pressure in a little bit. But it's just going to be the 2-1-1 stim marine pressure. We'll see what his follow-up ends up being after that as the Hellion, or the factory finishes up. There is a Hellion variation of this where you get some Hellions out before the medevac, and usually like a Liberator. It can be a very strong amount of pressure, but it's a little bit less macro focused than just getting the 2 medevacs out right away. We'll see what Maru ends up doing. He has been changing it up so far today. Usually he likes to stick with this exact build without changing it up at all. And yeah, he's going to go for the swap, so he's sticking with it, his macro build. Dark's starting to build some roaches. He's got that lair on the way, but he does have double Evo, so I don't think he's going to be doing any sort of Roach Ravager all-ins, unless it's like a max out with 1-1 or something of that nature, because the double Evo usually implies the later game play, the longer macro play. But that's a dangerous game to play against Maru. We've already seen, even when Dark had an advantage in the macro game, Maru was able to pull it back, able to take those really sick engagements. And it looks like Maru's just going to put down a few more Baraxes as he heads out across the map. He's got that 1-1. Dark has the 1-1. All right, we're in for the longer game. In come the Marines into the main base. There's a few roaches here with the queens. And, you know, I've noticed Maru lately, he hasn't been dropping all of his units out of the medevac. And I wonder if he's like having a weird control issue going on where occasionally he just won't get all those units out right away. It's like he's miscontrolling it. I don't usually expect Maru to miscontrol anything. It makes me wonder, what's going on? Did he change a hotkey? I don't know, there's a lot of roaches coming out of Dark. He's on 66 drones. Remember when I was like, well, he's probably not roach all inning unless he's hitting at 1-1 timing. I don't know, dude. Maybe he is. No, all right. He starts up 6 more drones. Damn. I thought I had him. I thought I'd called it. He is up a lot of supply, though. He has 50 supply up on Maru right now. It feels like he could push across. 11 Ravagers more. All right, Dark. He's got that forward 4th base. He can start saturating that. It's up to 71 workers. Maru has recognized what's coming. He sees the roaches busting through. He's got bunkers building, tanks sieged up back at home. Again, I've seen Dark crush through defensive Terrans that try to take this 3rd base. We'll see if he can do it against Maru. If there's anybody who can hold on against this, it's Maru. But Dark's starting to come in. The medevac's just scouting, seeing what's going on here. The bunker's just trying to buffer a little bit and buy a little bit of time. 2 of the bunkers going to fall immediately, but a lot of roaches have started to go down to the tank fire. The wall starting to crumble here. Maru just trying to buy time, but he is supply blocked, losing those depots, which means he can't build any units after these Marines and the tanks pop out. And that's going to allow Dark to keep on pressuring here and keep on being annoying. There's a bunch of SCVs kind of pulled out with the army as well. Dark taking a base and droning up behind this. He's got the hive started up. He thinks, all right, I can't crack him, but I can keep him back. I can take down some tanks, take down some bunkers. Losing a Ravager is painful, but if you kill a tank, it's kind of worth it. Maru's stabilized, though. I think he's feeling pretty good here. Deflected Dark's attack. Oh, the tanks. The tanks are a real problem for Dark, and he's getting into pathogen glands right now. I mean, I think the real strat here is to start getting Vipers out so you can get those abducts on the siege tanks, blinding clouds on the siege tanks. He's got a bunch of Lings and Banes and Queens back home. I don't know if he saw this drop coming, but he is very well prepared for it. Maru's just going to have to boost away. That base on the low ground, though, could be in a little bit of trouble to the drop. Nah, but Dark's in position with Roaches and Ravagers. He's going to bile down the medevacs. Oh, Maru just barely dodges those biles, except the last one. Still going to get out of there. But Maru's drop not getting any damage done, at least for the time being. And that's going to allow Dark to just chill on his side of the map. He is fully maxed. Only 74 drones, so this is going to be a nice, big, powerful army. Maru continuing to build SCVs, so Maru's army supply is always going to be smaller than Dark's as they hit maxed. Maru's a little under maxed right now. Dark starting to push forward. Does have some Vipers on the way. One out, another one, another 2 being made. I think he had some Infestors too. Yeah, a couple of Infestors. Starts up the Spire. I imagine he's going to be heading towards Broodlord, seeing the tank count, which is up at 9 right now. Oh no, those Infestors just sitting back at home. Dark's just trying to poke forward, wants to see if he can get some units into this 4th base. But I think without the Vipers, he doesn't really have a chance of breaking this insane tank line. Oh, is that a supply block? Maru, the uncharacteristic Maru supply block. It's okay, he's going to finish 2 command centers soon, and it'll be unsupply blocked. Marine's starting to push forward. Maru's realized this creep is right outside of his base, and he wants to stop that from being the case. Oh, Dark's sacrificing a lot of Ravagers to kill 1 tank and 1 sensor tower. Going to keep on expanding back at home. Maru not able to get out and put any pressure on across the map, and that's usually where his real strength lies. But he's feeling real good about the late game. He's got Ghosts on the way. His armory is about to finish up, his 2nd armory, I should say, because he's going to start, I think, air upgrades pretty soon, as his tank upgrades are already being produced. And he's starting to push out. I think he's going to try to take this forward base as his 5th. And that's a very powerful spot to have a planetary. Or an orbital. I mean, you know, who needs planetaries, actually? I forgot. This is Maru. He doesn't need planetaries. Oh, Maru starts up armor. He's like, I don't care if my Vikings shoot more. I just want my stuff to live longer. But Dark, he wants to come in and crush the hopes and dreams of this 5th base. The blinding clouds are so sick. Biles landing on top of the siege tanks. He is pushing this army back, but he is spending a lot of supply to do it. He might be able to stop this base from mining for a little bit, but Maru still feels pretty confident he can hold on to this position. He's going to lift the base, loses a few workers. A Nidus goes down in the main base. Dark, in the meantime, has taken every base on his side of the map. Again, Maru just hasn't been able to get across the halfway point of this map at all. And Dark's job right now is to mine as much as he can, get as big of a bank as he can, and keep Maru's economy down. That's why he dove in there to get on top of that base. He also wants to get up to that higher tech. No Broodlords on the way just yet. No Corruptors coming out. He's just building Lings and Banes and Lings and Banes for the time being. +3 Carapace finishing up. Dark needs to get some more upgrades going, though. He's got to get to that 3-3-3 setup. I love the handful of Vikings here just to try to push away The Vipers actually aren't any Vipers. The Vipers have died, so no more Vipers out of Dark, at least for now. Those Vikings not feeling particularly useful at the moment. Ling's going to try to get on by, actually diving on top of a siege tank. A few of them getting into the natural, but this 5th base again being lifted, not mining at all as Lings and Banes hit the 4th and clear it out. Guys, this is why you build planetaries. Baneling's getting on top of the Ghost as well that got fungled. Some snipes going to make those Ravagers pay for it, but that is a small consolation for Maru, who's losing a command center to Lings right now. It explodes in the air. 25 SCVs killed, 2 bases not mining right now for such a long time. This is really hurting this economy. Oh, those cheeky Lings getting in there. Dark taking a huge economic lead. He doesn't have a huge worker count back at home, but he's got them spread so well on the bases. He is building some more drones, going up to 84 as a Nidus Swarm hits the back. The Lings and Ravagers hit the front. Who needs high-tech units? Dark says, not me. But I don't know, maybe you should have some high-tech units. That didn't go too well. The Nidus is going to finish, though. Lings are popping out, fighting against these SCVs, dealing damage, actually going to start hitting some of these turrets as well, perhaps, and allowing more units to pop in. Dark once again hitting the front as those Lings are doing damage to the back line. Banelings running in, getting 7 SCV kills. Honestly, this isn't doing as much damage as I'd expected, but it is keeping Maru back at home. It is being very, very annoying. And Dark, I mean, again, he's mining so much more. He can afford to do this. Look at this huge income lead he's been taking. The trades haven't been great for him, but honestly, that is a very, very close amount to have traded, considering how much more Dark has been mining lately. And he's not stopping at all. More Lings and Banes being made. He's got Neural Parasite on the way. He wants to start getting those infestors out in mass, making those spells worthwhile. And he's just finding the weak spots. Maru is not able to get set up in his turtle defense yet. But with Hellbats and Ghosts and tanks out, it's getting a little harder for Dark to break through. But as I say that, Dark just busts through anyways. Who cares? Baneling's on tanks, killing a factory. He's killing the production here. And Maru still just on 66 workers. His army, though, is insanely powerful. 14 Ghosts. He's got 5 tanks. Not a lot of bio. It's just, like, concentrated good units. So much Ling Bane. I feel like Dark might have an army that can just do this. The Infestor from the backside. Can it get the Neural on the Ghosts? Can it do it? Oh, the EMP Neural. Yeah, baby! Dark, what an absolute god. EMPs all of the Ghosts of Maru. A few of them still have energy, but he's even killing them now. He's targeting them down. Still no scan from Maru. And the Lings getting into the 4th base again. And with this, Dark is going to hit those tanks on the front line. All the Ghosts pulled back. And all these tanks are so vulnerable. Bio going down as well. The Banelings rolling through. Oh, and this 5th base attempt is just not going to happen again. All the SCVs getting obliterated. Tons of Ghosts going down. There's still 9 on the field, but Maru's army just getting decimated here. His economy in the dumps, 46 SCVs. His army supply is still so good, but it feels like Dark's just going to be able to remax so quickly. He's supply blocked, though? How is Dark supply blocked? He must have lost so many Overseers this game. 8 Overseers have gone down. Another assimilation. He just walks that Ghost forward, though. Ghost is actually in a good position now. That one didn't quite work as well for Dark. Maru's starting to push forward. This 5th base might be in some trouble. It's okay, there's plenty of bases to send those drones to. Dark hitting in a counterattack, looking for a 4th, which actually just isn't there. So that's kind of good for Dark. Maru has 1.5 mining bases right now, and one of them has Lings in them. That is a big problem for him. He's down under 40 workers as those Lings get cleaned up. And Dark, he's just rebuilding an army back at home. Lings, Banes. I think there were some Hydras in there as well. He could try to get into Lurkers, but I actually wouldn't mind them just staying as Hydras. Another Neural, this time on the tank. That one did not go super well for the Infestor. Maru a little quicker to the scan. That first Neural was that was the golden one. That's the clipped Neural right there. Baneling's rolling forward, just taking down some of those front units. Oh man, another Ling run by, gonna get on top of this base. There is nothing to defend at this time. The SCV is running with a Baneling smashing the front line. Everything was clumped. Maru falling under 100 supply here in a moment. And Dark, he's almost maxed. Oh, this is looking like a Dark victory. I don't see any way for Maru to come back from this game, even though he's the best. This far behind Dark, I don't see it happening. And that looks like the GG moment as Dark ties the series up 2-2. Holy shit. That EMP was so good. Man, I love Dark so much. I mean, to be honest, that EMP wasn't like a crucial thing in that game. Dark was so far ahead. It's just such a flashy move. And I feel like with the amount of Lings and Banes there were, it wasn't even like necessary. The snipes weren't the real danger there. Honestly, the ghosts were so good because they're really good against light units, so they just kill those Lings very quickly. And even Banelings don't do a lot of damage to them. They have a lot more hit points than you'd imagine. Dark needs a minute, so we will be chilling for a second while we wait. That was a good game, though. That was a really sick game from Dark. Again, it's funny. It's funny that that was Maru's map pick, because I don't think I've ever seen Dark lose to a Terran on that map. I'm sure he has. Like, I'm sure he doesn't have a 100% win rate against Terran, but for me, in the games I've cast of Dark on that map, I haven't seen him lose. Every single time he's on that map against a Terran, he wins. Maybe he just lets the Terrans pick it. He's like, oh no, that's a Terran map, I don't like it. Oh no. And then Maru picks it and he's like, haha, gotcha, sucker. Just like that. All right, Dark is returned. We're ready to go as soon as Maru is ready. We get into Gresvan. Oh, dude. This map. This map is so good. Gresvan has given us some insanely good games, particularly from Dark in the past. I'm hoping we get a really long late game here between these two. I want to see the real Maru late game. We almost got to it last game, but Dark didn't let him get there. Dark's whole game plan was, don't let Maru get there. It worked really well. It was very successful in that last game. But let's see how it goes in this game. Let's see if he's going to be aggressive and stop that late game Terran. In the lower right-hand corner of Gresvan, we have Dragon Kitesy Gaming's Dark. His opponent in the upper left for Onside Gaming, it is Maru. Hard to say who I favor now. I mean, it feels like Dark kind of knows how to handle Maru, and it's just coming down to execution, to those in-game decision-making moments. And I think generally speaking, Maru's execution is a bit stronger than Dark's. I would normally say he's got maybe the better micro, and his macro is incredibly strong. But Dark, when it comes to decision making in a game and knowing when to go kill your opponent, when to backstab, when to play the defensive game, and Dark is just, I think he's just the best at that. Like his decision making is so impeccable. Maybe Serral is the only one who I could think of that's better than Dark at those crazy moments when you're like, why is Dark droning? This is not the chance to drone. And then 2 minutes later, you're like, he won because he droned. Dark does that kind of stuff all the time, to the point where it's almost frustrating because it feels like he just knows exactly what the game state is at all times. And even if Maru's execution's a little bit stronger, I mean, it's so hard to counteract somebody who just knows how to handle what you're doing. But that's what makes these games so exciting, right? It's just such a close series all the time. Every game. But this map, yeah, we've seen a lot of split map games. Dark has really excellent late game ZVT. I'm sure he doesn't like to play it, but he's very good at it. His spellcaster control is top notch. And Maru, dangerously close to getting a drone with the first Reaper. You know, you're allowed to lose a drone when there's like 3 Reapers, but when it's just 1, you're not actually allowed to lose that drone. Maru finding that hatchery that's pretty low still. And he's going to start working on it. It's just the 2 racks variation, so you know what? I said it was just going to be 3 Reapers. Oh, there's a 3rd rack. Look at that. Mapu paying more attention than I am. It's the 3 racks variation. Look at all these Reapers coming out. It's going to be 5 Reapers for the time being. And it looks like add-ons going on back at home. So Maru, he's just going to force the cancel on this base. Maybe try to trade with some Lings and Queens in the meantime. And then it's going to give him a more powerful Marine follow-up as well. It's a much later 3rd base here. And later medevacs as well. But it's going to be a much quicker... Ooh, much more powerful Marine follow-up, but these Reapers starting to get killed here. Oh, only 1 Reaper died? How did only 1 Reaper die? That's not fair. Jesus. All right, Dark drops down the Bane Nest. 18 more Lings on the way. Oh, he's going for it. He is going for it. And this, we've seen this actually kill Maru a couple of times. I mentioned it yesterday. Ragnarok won his game with a Bane Bust. Earlier today, Solar won his game with a Bane Bust. And Dark, he's trying to join the Bane Bust crew and put himself on match point. This is actually so sick. I think Maru might be somewhat wise to it, but I don't know, man. I don't know. He saw a big group of Lings. I don't know that he's expecting these Banes, though. He did not see the Bane Nest. The Banes are morphing. They're going to try to bust through. There's a good amount of Marines behind this wall. The 3 racks is going to give him a lot of Marine production. Stim is almost done. That would help a lot with Maru's micro if he's able to finish Stim. But I don't know if he's going to be ready for this. The Banelings are about to bust through the wall. The wall is actually open for a second there. But down it goes. The reactor getting hit by the splash damage as well. And the big surround on the ramp. The Banelings getting those big hits. And the Marines getting chewed to pieces by the Lings. SCVs going down. Is Maru about to fall to another Bane Bust in this game? I can't believe it. His one weakness against the Zergs is a Bane Bust. He's got no army left. There's Banelings morphing. The SCVs are fighting. GG. Dark wins the quick game against Maru. Goes up to match point. He says, Gresvan, that's a late game map. I am not playing against Maru in the late game. It's not happening. And he hits him with the Bane Bust, takes him out right away. Damn. What a move, Dark. What a move. That's beautiful. Dark puts himself on match point for the Summer Slam. Match point. All right, and Royal Blood is going to be game number, what is this, 6? Game number 6. Is it bad if I hope Maru wins this because I want a 7-game series? Is that bad of me? I feel like that's okay. It's okay to hope Maru wins this game because I want a 7-game series in the Grand Finals. All right, we're loading into the game. Let us join our players here currently on match point. Our Zerg player in the lower left-hand corner, he is the Dragon Kitesy Gamer. Dark. His opponent in the upper right. Possibly the GOAT, but now needs to win these 2 in a row. It's Onside Gaming's Maru. All right. What do we bust out in this game? I want to see, is Dark going to go for some balls to the wall strategy? Because I feel like that's the Dark I know. I'm also a little surprised to see Maru not proxy raxing. This feels like a Maru proxy raxing situation. Maybe that'll be game 7. You know, maybe game 7, if Maru's able to get us there. That's when we see the proxy 3 racks for the Marine rush. But for now, Dark just, you know, going for the cheeky pool. No gas yet. Taking his hatch. What's this pool for, Dark? What's that gas for, Dark? What are we doing? Maru going for the 2 racks Reaper. So he will be able to get a scout on some things going on. Oh my god, it's a roach, Warren. Well, all right. Dark gonna put some pressure on. You know what? I've seen him do this build on this map before. He likes to get annoying with the roaches and raptors on this map and start poking and prodding at that front of the wall. It's kind of a weird wall here for Maru. Feels a little bit more vulnerable than you'd normally expect the 2 racks in the wall to feel. But no SCV scout from Maru or anything, so it's just going to be on the Reapers to scout this and on Maru to respect it and defend appropriately. Now, the last time I saw Dark do this, not only did he send a few roaches across, morph a couple of Ravagers, he had Ling speed behind it, and there was a Ling flood follow-up. And it caught the Terran, I think it was Gumiho, off guard, straight up killed him. Fully killed him. So Maru's going to have to respect whatever the follow-up could be from Dark as well. And he's scouting around. He saw that hatch was super late, and he's like, all right, what manner of things are you doing? What manner of evil is this, Dark? And it's roaches. It's roaches coming out. Maru immediately trying to get into the tech lab and the reactor, but he's got to build some bunkers out there. I think out front of the wall is the way to go. And yeah, that's exactly where he's going to put that bunker. There's a 3rd racks already coming up in the main base. That is going to help him quite a bit, but it means no factory, no, I guess Widow Mines wouldn't be the right thing. Maybe like a Cyclone would be the way to go to help him against these roaches. The Reaper's just trying to buy time, but this bunker is not up in time. Concussive shells on the way. A Marauder coming out. Marauder's going to be very strong here, but no bunker. It just feels so dangerous. A couple of Marines showing up as well. And there's that Ling speed. Ling's coming out for Dark. He is going fully all in. 17 drones behind this. He's not chilling at all. And Maru needs to recognize that. He needs like a secondary wall behind this. I actually wouldn't hate bunkers behind those barracks so he can lift them and pull back to the bunkers. But he hasn't realized this. He thinks it's just the roach pressure from Dark. He wasn't watching that game against Gumiho. Maru didn't do his homework. And I think Dark's about to win this. Let's see if Maru can do the magic and hold. He doesn't even kill the Overlord. Oh, man. Ling speed's almost done. Dark is waiting for that. He's still just showing a couple of roaches here. The scan, it sees one more Ravager morphing, but it doesn't see the Zerglings. He kills that Overlord at least. Hurts Dark a little bit. There is a bunker to fall back to. Stim is definitely not going to happen, though. Marauder's pushing out to try to stop this. What Dark wants to do is bust a hole in the wall. Ooh, dives for that roach, and he does get it. New add-on going down. Dark still not going in. Only 17 drones. Oh, but Maru's realized it. He's on the other side of the map. He sees that there's no drones down there. He puts down the re-wall, and he's going to build another bunker. He's like, oh, no. This is completely all in. The Reapers win across the map. They're going to get a couple of drone kills. Those are so important here. Maru making the magic happen. The late scout, but it seems like it's in time. The Lings haven't gone in yet. They're going to go forward now. Dark knows it's now or never, but there's SCV's body blocking for that bunker. The vial's not going on the bunker. It stays alive. Oh, man. Maru is doing it. He's holding. But Dark, he has no other recourse. There's no other plan in this game. He has to go until either he's dead or Maru is dead. This is it. And he's going to dive forward once again, try to get on top of this. He's just running the Lings through to try to get into the main base. I think these SCVs are going to have to evacuate down to the low ground. But Maru, he's chasing everything up here. He's killing these Lings bit by bit. Suddenly, these Lings don't feel quite as scary. 10, 11 SCVs have gone down. But remember, Dark's on 15 drones. Maru can absolutely afford to lose this. And yeah, GG. Maru holds it. Oh, I thought for sure Dark had the win there. That was looking so good for him. But he waited just a little bit too long, and Maru was able to get that scout across the map with the Reapers. Those Reapers coming in so clutch. Maru recognized that there were no drones in the natural and immediately dropped down a backup wall, another bunker. He was ready after that. And that brings us to a game 7. I got my wish. Dark tried the cheese, and it didn't quite work out. So we're going to Babylon, the map neither player actually wanted to play on. Our final map. Oh, man. A game 7 in the grand finals. Is there actually anything better than that? Could there actually be anything more exciting than game 7 of the grand finals? I don't think so. I don't think so. Mapu says game 7 being a tie. That's the more exciting thing. That would be insane. All right, you know what? You got me there. You got me there. If game 7 is a tie, that's actually the most exciting thing. But all right, let's get into game number 7. We're spawning in the lower right-hand corner. We've got ourselves maybe the best Zerg player in the world, Dragon Kitesy Gaming's Dark. He's certainly making it a very close one against the best Terran in the world, Onsite Gaming's Maru, who, I don't know, part of me was thinking this might be very Maru favored. Dark has not had the best year. 2023 just hasn't really been Dark's year. He's still obviously one of the best players in the world, but I think generally speaking, a lot of players wouldn't consider him at that Maru level. You know, Maru's out here winning the GSLs and things are going crazy. He's just still in the best shape of his life. Whereas it feels like Dark's year was a few years ago. You know, he's had some ups. His downs are only, you know, I mean, for Dark, being down is when he's like number 8 on the Ligulac instead of number 3. But I mean, here we are in game 7 between these two. Yeah, if I was scripting it, I would tell them to tie here. So that's how you know this is scripted. Is this game's a draw. And we have to replay it. That'd be wild. I've never cast a draw before. I've cast a few very long games that came down to the wire at the end, and it was like fully mined out maps, that kind of thing. I cast a game that was going on so long that one of the players just said, "I hate this," and quit. It was like an NA qualifier for something, so it was these 2 NA players. PvZ, it was a full standstill with like just a ton of static defense in the middle of the map, and the Zerg player was like, "No, I'm not doing this," and just quit. But I've never cast a draw. This would be the time. Now Maru's playing this with just the single Rax opener. I mean, he's got a second and the third Rax going down now, but the 1 Rax Marine opener into a 4 Rax build. Okay, Maru. All right, dude. Chill, maybe. But I like that he's got the bunker out front. This is a good strategy against Dark in particular. It's kind of funny. I feel like Maru probably tried this build without a bunker and then like hit Dark on the ladder. And now, now he builds the bunker every game. That's, you know, you live and you learn. The 4 Raxes, man. All right, there's going to be a lot of Marines coming out of Maru. There's going to be a lot of Marine pressure. He's got Stim on the way. He should have combat shields started fairly soon, I think, because he's got the second tech lab coming up now. He's going to hit with the Stim combat shields timing. But there's not going to be any medevacs with this. So I think he might just pressure and maybe try to cancel a 4th base. Something of that nature. Right now, Dark's just macroing up. But I don't think Dark has any sort of vision of what's going on here. Yeah, his Overlord didn't get in to see any of the follow-up. So he's really in the in the dark about what Maru's build order is, what his build plans are. But again, I'm sure Maru has done this build before. Dark might be familiar with it. He's got the Roach Warren on the way. And I feel like Roaches are not a bad choice here. Defending this with just Lings and Queens would be kind of difficult. I think we saw this earlier against Solar, actually, this build. And defending with Lings and Queens, while possible, it becomes more difficult the more Marines there are. Especially with combat shields. And now that I'm thinking about it, yes, we did see this build earlier against Solar. Solar, I think he was forced to cancel his 4th base, but then it was kind of a chill follow-up. Maru didn't commit super hard. So we might see that again from him, waiting until there's medevacs out to really start putting the pressure on. But this is... I mean, there's a lot of attack power here, and right now, the army of Dark is 3 Zerglings and 6 Queens. He's getting out Roaches, but he really doesn't have much. But Maru's looking for that 4th base. It's not there. He's going to clear some of this creep. I think Dark just needs to wait for more units to come out. He absolutely can't fight this yet. And Maru's starting to feel like maybe I can push forward. He goes for the Stim, and he just dives up this ramp, targeting down the Queens, targeting down the Roaches now. The Transfuse is keeping these alive for a little while longer, but those units finally do go down. The Marines keep running forward, but they're very hurt now, and they're not going to be able to Stim again. Drones getting run away. They turn to fight, and I think that's a good choice. 6 drones going down, but Dark kind of over-droned before that, so I think he's totally fine losing those 6 drones. He holds on. The Queens, maybe a little more painful. 3 Queens, never what you want to lose. But he should still have a decent amount of injects. And now he's just going to be free to drone up for a while. Honestly, the part that hurts the most for Maru about that is his Marine presence is severely diminished for that. That was a lot of map presence he sacrificed to kill 6 drones and 3 Queens. Honestly, it doesn't feel worth it. The trades are dead even. That's going to be good for Dark in this situation. He just takes the 4th base, hits that drone button for a little bit, gets up to 3 base saturation. And yeah, he's free to tech. He's got 1-1. Glial Reconstitution, the Infestation Pit on the way. And now that he's up to 68 workers, his 4th base is on the way. He can start getting into Roaches again. I think Dark should be feeling pretty good here. As Maru has another group of Marines out, but if he had kept those Marines from earlier alive, this would be a lot scarier. He could also have 2 groups of Marines out instead of just the 1. The Roaches will push this away. Nice little Ravager morph there, but Maru actually targets that Roach down like the god he is and gets the kill anyways. It's crazy when one player does a micro trick that is really sick, and then the other player counters it with even better micro. It's like, oh, that's... damn. All right. Okay, Maru. 2 Infestors coming out. That Hive started up. A nice 7-minute Hive coming out of Dark. He loves to do it. The Infestors are kind of cute here, actually. Maru might not be expecting Infestors at the 8-minute mark out of Dark. They can combo really well with Roaches, too. Obviously, one of Roach's problems, they're a lot slower than Zerglings. But, I mean, you lock those units in place, suddenly the roaches feel pretty strong, especially if you can get some biles down on those units. Maru taking his third base. This is obviously a very late third base compared to what we would normally see from him. And I don't know that Maru got the amount of damage done that would justify losing all of that mining time from having such a later third base. The 4 racks opening, I feel like not working out too well for him. But he does have a lot of Marines out on the map now. 2 different groups of them. Dark's got to make sure his units are in the right position. So far, so good, but the Marines still hitting around. Oh, no, but there it is. There's the fungal. A medevac going down as well. Maru saved exactly 1 Marine in that medevac. A few drones did go down, but I mean, that is exactly what Dark was hoping for. Maru just wasn't ready for the fungal. And all of a sudden, Maru just doesn't have any pressure on the bottom side of the map, which means Dark can group all of his units together to defend this big push to the top side. And I don't know if Maru's got enough here to actually go for this push. There's so many Lings, Banes, Roaches, and Ravagers for Dark. Oh, but he moves everything out of position right before this comes in. That's a bit of unfortunate timing there for Dark. I don't think he realized this army was there. And that means Maru can get the tank sieged up. This 4th base is in trouble. Dark, he just evacuates it. He's going to send them down to that building hatchery, the other 4th base. He's going to let this base go. Maru got into too good of a position here. And while Maru's economy isn't that great, oh, he kills the Viper. Unfortunate larva usage there from Dark. Maru's army supply is pretty huge. Dark is only slightly higher. That Viper needs to come join up. There's an accidental swarm host on the way, but Dark's going to pull the trigger. He dives in. He gets a couple of the siege tanks, but a lot of those Marines still left alive. More Banelings morphing right now. Dark, he's got to hold on here. Maru, he is not stopping. He's continuing this pressure. The concave is huge. That tank eats 1 bile, but it stays alive. Another nice fungal there from Dark. He's going to send those Marines back for a little bit, but Dark forced to evacuate his 3rd. The Bane Nest and the Infestation Pit are both here. Oh no, Maru is starting to bust through. Dark in some trouble right now. The supply is falling for Dark. His drone count only at 67. The Vipers are here though. Can he get some mean blinding clouds? He hits both of the tanks with 1. Hits the Marines on the other side. They micro the wrong direction and run right into the Roaches. And Dark, that is a very nice cleanup of that army. Maru is now down a bit of army supply. As more Marines show up, ooh, there's no fungal here, but the Marines do pull back. They have to pick up and get out of there, though. Dark holds on, and he's got 2 fresh bases on the left-hand side that he built. So as Maru pulls back, he's going to pick everything up and try to go for a big drop. He has so many medevacs. That army supply pretty heavily inflated by the 11 medevacs in the sky. Obviously, it's a lot of healing. The Roaches and Lings and Ravagers are here. Oh, Dark needs to make sure to split these units effectively. Oh, but there's Queens in the main base. Maru just needs to leave and avoid those biles. Yeah, that drop not working out for him. I don't think he expected Dark to have that base, but that's why Dark was so comfortable evacuating drones. Maru's on 3 bases. He's floating his main out to the 4th right now. Dark can afford to lose some bases. Sacrificing bases as a Zerg, being willing to do that is such a powerful tool that sometimes the Terran's like, oh, I killed a base, it's so good. But Dark, I feel like I like his position here. He's getting Ultras out. Chitinous is on the way. He's got those Vipers out. And Maru's tech right now is like, I guess I'll build some Marauders. He does have some Liberators and some Vikings coming out. Those can complicate things. But Dark's army, it's starting to feel real good. Now Maru is going to get on top of this. He recognizes the Baneling Nest and the Infestation Pit are here. Dark's going to need to replace those. Also, slight supply block for Dark. Very annoying. Oh, the Bane Nest has already been rebuilt. It's getting rebuilt again, though. So don't you worry about that. Dark's going to make sure he has the 2 Bane Nests. He doesn't like to have just 1. He needs to make sure there's a backup just in case. But Maru, he's starting to climb up in supply again. Neither player is making workers. 56 to 68, and it's been here for a minute. Whoop, ooh, fungal. It's a few of those Marines. A follow-up fungal is huge, but that's not the real story. The main army fight. Maru wasn't ready for it. He was focused on those Marines, and Dark dives through, killing the tanks, and GG. Just like that, Dark secures his win in game number 7, pushing through Maru's army. Maru had no economy behind that. He can't afford to take those bad fights. And Dark, he wins the KSL Summer Slam, taking down Maru in the grand finals. Dark says, the GOAT? The GOAT? I think if anybody's the GOAT, it's, you know, maybe the BlizzCon world champion. Psh. Damn. Damn, Dark.